Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Inside Artesian Football here on WRAP 15 Sports. I'm your host, Eric Meyer, joined by Artesian head football coach Carter Whitson. The Artesians battled last week in their home Mid-State Conference opener to the Greenwood Woodmen, kept it close throughout before the Woodmen were able to pull away in the rain and get the victory over the Artesians. We'll talk with the coach about that contest. We'll look at some highlights from that game, and we'll also look ahead to maybe the Artesians' toughest test of the season, a very athletic Decatur Central ball club coming up on Friday night. Up first, though, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the Mid-State Conference opener with the Greenwood Woodmen. This is a contest where the Woodmen were able to come out with the running style that you knew that they were going to do. They eventually took the lead on you guys, but boy, a great response on the next possession to get the lead right back.
Yeah, it was a great start for us offensively, which we haven't had a lot of just finishing the drive. Andy Myers made a great play just in the end zone of concentrating on a tipped ball, but it was a team effort on just the drive, getting down to that point. Great response after they come out and score, and then just didn't perform as well as we needed to offensively the rest of the game. Defense battled as much as they could, but we just got to get them some more points.
Let's talk a little bit about that defense against the Greenwood Woodmen. We know coming in that they're going to run a veer, but they do it a little bit out of some different looks and some different sets. Did they do anything that you guys weren't expecting, or some things that gave you guys any trouble in the contest?
No, our defense, I thought they prepared really well, incredibly better than they did the week before, Bloomington South's preparation. We were ready for it. They didn't do anything that we hadn't seen. When we trusted our assignments, we shut it down. But they're going to test you. They're going to grind it out. They're going to 3 yards in a cloud of dust and go for it on fourth down and keep the ball in their possession away from our offense. And that's what they were able to do in the second half.
How difficult does that become for the defense then, the coaches and everyone, to kind of stay and not really, I don't want to use the word panic, but kind of like want to hurry up and try to get the ball back and do something that maybe you aren't supposed to do with that scheme?
It is. It lets some self-doubt creep into your mind a little bit. And it's hard on the offense, because now we're thinking, oh crap, we got to score every time because we're not getting it very often, and then we don't, and it's like defense is back out there for a long time. So football is a true team sport, and the offense has to pick up their part to help out the defense, not put them in that situation.
Let's talk a little bit about the offensive performance on Friday night against the Greenwood Woodmen. It was a good drive, like we said, to start the contest, able to kind of tempo Greenwood a little bit, hit some big passes and those kind of things. How did you think the offense performed overall in the contest?
Okay, not as good as they can. Still had a few drops that were crucial. I counted I think it was our second or third possession, our first possession of the second quarter. We should have scored on 4 or 5 plays if we just do everything we're told, including run reads for the running back, run reads for the quarterback, catching the ball, or just getting your eyes where they should be offensive line-wise and finishing a play. So, we're still young. We're still learning. It's there. It's close. So I'm not going to say I'm happy with it, but I can see there's video evidence that we're on the right track.
You mentioned being on the right track and those plays where you're close to getting it done. How much of that is an experience factor that once you get it in, you've got to see it, you've got to do it enough to where it becomes habit versus uncorrectable type of things?
Yeah, we talked about that as a staff this week, and we're sitting there frustrated after watching the game. You're like, geez, he should have scored right here if he just trusts it, or he should have scored right here if he just gets that block. And then we got to thinking, like, 95% of these kids haven't played a bunch on Friday nights, and this offense is entirely new to them. So every play we call on Friday night, it's almost like a new play. They don't have a lot of banked reps, and that's just going to take some time. It's good that we have some youth so they can get that, and they'll continue to get better with time. But, it's a process, and we're doing it right.
How do you manage that process in terms of making sure you can still keep confidence up and still have success to be able to trust that system? That's got to be a hard thing, especially for you guys kind of coming new with a new head coaching position.
Well, really, it starts on Monday with practice. We've had a great week of practice, and that's continued to get better throughout the season. I think even as a staff, we've organized things better to give our kids a better chance. But, the old debate of what comes first, confidence or
being able, yeah.
Or success, confidence or
success.
success.
Yeah.
And our confidence has to come through preparation because we haven't had that success yet.
So that's the hard thing as well. You know, I mean, that we talk about it to young kids all the time.
Yeah.
They want to be successful to have that confidence, but in the same token, a lot of times you got to be confident to be able to enjoy some of that success. So that's got to be hard to manage.
It is. And our kids are on the right track, like I keep saying. I think everybody sees that. Everybody can see that this is not the same old Martinsville. Our kids are fighting every play, every quarter, all the way to the end. So we'll be all right.
How much did it hurt to lose Brandon Dotson in the contest? Because Brandon was running the ball pretty well.
Yeah, Brandon's been playing well. That hurt us. Isaac came in, and Isaac could have had a great game. Again, we talked about just some maturity and some repetition of learning what to do. He could have rushed for over 200 yards if we just continue to get him on the right track. Brandon was playing well. Isaac's doing well. Ben Balsarak's had a great week at running back. So we got a good stable like we have the past few weeks. And I trust all four of those guys with the ball in their hands.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from the Greenwood contest on Friday night as Martinsville battle the Woodmen. Right off the bat, you see that
right
defense.
Off the bat, there's their veer offense. We're plugging it up the middle. Guys are trusting their assignments, doing what they're told. They got 3 options with the ball, and we had guys in all 3 spots defensively. Start out, they scored, and then we get the ball on offense and really get rolling here. Andy Myers started the game at our outside position. Had a great catch right there and run afterwards. Here's Brandon Dotson breaking one. We're so close. If we can just get one block, outside, we score on those long plays instead of have to grind out. And then here's the last play. Travis with a great read against cover 0 blitz, gives Andy and the rest of the wide receivers a chance to make a play on the ball, and that's what those guys do consistently during the week. Need to keep doing it on Friday nights, coming down with touchdowns. There you see a bunch of gang tackling again. Our defense played really well. Their preparation was awesome. Played some new guys, getting some more depth there. Zach Petty stepped up and played a great game. Will Nick stepped up as a freshman and had a great game. Continue to get him better and more reps. There's Travis right there hitting Darius. Darius had a great game with competitive catches. Still got to get a little bit more discipline in our routes, but Darius wants it really bad. Once the ball's in the air, he's going to come down with it. Here's Travis making a good play off of a snap that was a little bit crazy. We just tell him to do the right thing with the ball. If something like that happens, just make a bad play. Don't make it worse. There's a good check down to Isaac Osborne. Isaac had a great game. It could have been so much better. A little sprint out right here gives our offensive linemen a little bit of an easier pass protection block. Makes those defensive linemen keep guessing. That's why we need to do that. Good RPO right here to Darius. Darius getting out of bounds so we can keep running or keep the clock from running. Travis stepping up, hitting Darius again, just hitting the guy that he trusts. Need to continue to get other guys to make plays. There's Isaac Osborne breaking one. It's Isaac's birthday today, so happy birthday there, Isaac. Back on defense, there's a triple option, man. A quarterback can hand it, quarterback can pull it, quarterback can pitch it, and we got guys in every spot. I was really impressed with them doing their job and trusting what their coaches were telling them to do all week. There's Ben Balsarak, who's been playing a little bit both ways with the play there. Here's Seth Gallion with a great interception. We call them bingos whenever we're on defense, and what we got to do is now I've challenged the defense to go score when they get the ball in their hands. Don't just give it back to our offense. Let's go get some points on the board for them. Travis continues to run hard, and he's getting better and better every week.
So look at some of the highlights, and again, you see the offense, you see the defense doing things. The Greenwood kind of just pulled away at the end of the game to kind of wear on you. You're going to play a team coming up on Friday night, the Decatur Central Hawks, that they've got guys all across the board. 2 kids that are going to Iowa already that have committed. A kid, I think, the quarterback that may be going to Illinois State or Southern Illinois, and it's the traditional Decatur Central team loaded with athletic kids that's playing well right now.
Yeah, see, I thought we played our best opponent last week that we've seen so far this year, and then we'll play our best opponent again this week. Decatur comes in with athletes. You're right, they've got some guys going to some different schools. We don't really look at that too much. We try not to worry about anything that we can't affect. They do have some athletes. They'll test you on all ways of running the ball, quarterback running the ball, throwing the ball, getting it to their guys with speed. And then defensively, they're going to be aggressive, play a lot of cover zero with a monster linebacker that really just chases down the running back. So, there's ways that we're prepared to attack them offensively and defensively, and it'll be a really good test for us.
What are we going to see them do offensively? They've kind of had some coaching changes over the past couple of years. It's kind of evolved a little bit. What are we going to see them do on the offensive side of the ball?
They've got two guys that they really try and focus their offense around, their quarterback, number 5, and their running back, slot receiver, number 11. And really, if you watch those two guys, 11's either getting the ball or he's a decoy. 5 is either handing it to 11 or he's got the ball. So those two we really got to focus in on. They do a lot of misdirection stuff. We have to be very disciplined at inside linebacker of trusting our eyes, not necessarily what the fakes are showing us, but where they're actually supposed to go. They're going to spread you out. They're going to be athletic, but we feel like we can get some turnovers from them. We can take advantage of us being more disciplined and us playing harder, and that's what we have to do defensively.
When they line up on the offensive side, they want to get the quarterback the ball. They want to get Tracy the ball as well, the receiver and the running back. But what kind of formations and things will we see out of them on Friday?
They'll be spread the majority of the time. Every once in a while, they'll attach a tight end to run some pin and pull offense. I've seen them get into the wishbone down tight and run some misdirection stuff. But I would say the majority of the time they're a spread offense that has the ability to run it with their quarterback, which gives them extra hats. That's why they could be dangerous.
When you turn around and look at them on the other side of the ball, they also have those same athletes on the other side of the ball.
They do, yep. They play a 3 down front and 3 linebackers. We call it an odd stack. And then really from there, they play cover 0. They've got 2 safeties that cover the 2 inside receivers, 2 corners that press up the outside receivers, and then what we call a monster back, lines up about 7 or 8 yards deep and really just runs alleys, chases where the tailback goes. So they play, we used to call it cat defense, where you got that cat, I got this cat, everybody else just go play ball. So that's kind of what they do.
So for you guys knowing that, is that the first time you guys are going to face something like that this year?
We've seen a little bit of that. We saw it versus Columbus East, a little different animal, but base similar offense and defense. And then we saw a few teams this summer in some scrimmages that played some odd stacks. So our kids are familiar with it. They're comfortable with it. We'll be good to go.
The purpose of doing the odd stack, is it just harder to try to find the person to block? Is that what they're trying to do?
A little bit. Personnel can make you do that. Maybe you're not as deep on D-line and you're deeper at linebacker or secondary-wise, so you want to get your best players on the field. I've seen people go that are mainly 3-3 stack teams, and all of a sudden they have a good class of senior defensive linemen, and they'll go to a 4 down front. So it's really getting their weapons on the field.
No one also playing the cover 0, where you got that guy, got this guy, and you got your receivers are then going to have to be competitive and win some one-on-one battles.
Exactly right, outside and inside. Outside, it's the first week we're really going to get pressed up. Matt and Corbin and Andy and Hopple and Garrett Miles really need to have a good game, getting off the line of scrimmage and catching those competitive plays, competitive footballs. And then, the slot guys, Darius and Corbin and Brian Johnson and Seth, really need to make plays in the open space, because we have the ability to get them the ball, and then hopefully they can make some people miss.
How physical will Decatur be on the outside, on the perimeter with your receivers?
They'll try and jam us up a little bit. It's not the fact that they're going to try and hold us on the line of scrimmage. They just feel comfortable with being right there, and then they'll bump and run. Kind of a similar defense to what LSU used to do all the time.
So knowing what they're going to do, again, without giving too much away, what are some of the things that you guys are going to have to do offensively to be successful?
Yeah, we're going to have to run the ball. We say that every week, and we've got some different wrinkles in this week that will help us out, help our O-line. Quarterback's going to have to run the ball, and then we got to take advantage when we get the ball in space, whether that is a run play or whether that's getting the ball to the slot. We have to finish blocks downfield and take advantage of plays that not get 10 yards, but go get 70.
When you also look on the flip side of it, defensively, what are you going to have to do against maybe the most explosive offense you guys have faced thus far this season?
Make them snap it again. Eliminate the big plays. They're going to get plays. They've got good athletes. They've got a good scheme. They could spread it out. we got to make them snap it again and see if they have the discipline to do a 10-play drive, 12-play drive, not just a 2 or 3-play drive. So that's our goal defensively. We understand that they're going to get a little bit. Let's just give them a little bit and not a lot. Easy.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you joining us this week. Good luck on Friday.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That is Artesian head coach Carter Whitson here inside Artesian football. You heard it. The Artesians going to Decatur on Friday night. Get up there and support the Artesians as they battle the Decatur Central Hawks. It should be a good contest between Martinsville and Decatur. As always, I'd like to thank the head coach for coming in, for Carter Whitson and the advanced broadcasting class that produced it. I'm your host, Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Artesian football.
All right, here we go.